The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. What's going on, guys? It's Tanner with Trade Thrive, and I want to talk to you about a strategy that you can implement in your business today that could easily help you double your sales without having to purchase more leads, without having to serve more customers, guys. I'm talking about upselling. A lot of you do this, but I want to help you develop the strategy and the science behind it. So we're going to get into the two types of upsells, and if you don't know what upselling is, really what it comes down to is offering more than what the customer originally requested. So there's two types. We have urgent upselling and we have suggestive upselling. These two types require you to do different things. So let's start off with an example of urgent upselling. So if I get requested to go over and look at someone's house, let's say they only want trim done, and I know a lot of you guys out there hear that request and like, oh, this is a small ticket. I see it differently. I go to those estimates, I perform those estimates, and I look for different things that could get the customer to spend a little more with us. So if someone comes to me and wants just trim done, and I do a walk around, and maybe I say, oh, that's great, and we do the walk around and we look at the walls on the back side of the house, and maybe there's some settling cracks developing. Here's where I would kick my urgent upselling into gear. I would educate the customer on first what settling cracks are. I'd say, hey, these settling cracks are due to obviously the foundation settling a little bit, and these cracks are starting to develop some moisture. Now, obviously, it's not that big of a deal right now, but the longer you wait, the more that moisture can seep inside the stucco, and we all know what's behind stucco, just porous block, and what's behind your block? Drywall. So the longer we wait to address this issue, obviously the higher the probability is that we can obviously run into a bigger issue than what's currently present. So what did I do there? The first thing is I educated the client on what it is that was there. Second thing I did was I informed them on the possible outcomes that could happen. Now the third thing is where you come in as a salesperson. You have got to get this. You encourage them to move forward. And really it's your professional opinion coming through. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, I highly suggest you allow us to give you a quote for the rest of the house so you don't have to deal with this sort of issue, and you just leave it there. Okay, we're not being forward. A lot of you guys know my sales training is not aggressive. It's based off of logic, reason, and really just building a relationship, but you sometimes have to step in and kind of encourage them. And 99% of the time, if you deliver on the educational portion, if you deliver on the informing portion of this, and you deliver a really nice approach to encouraging them, guys, educate, inform, encourage with urgent upsells, you're going to get them to agree to at least see that added quote, and in most cases they'll go for it. Okay, so then we have the second type of upsell. These are your suggestive upsells. This is where you come in as a professional and you start giving your opinions. Now, us painters, you know, we do this a lot, guys, but you know, because we have all these colors and we have a lot of people that want vision, but there's other trades out there where it's not so much about appeal, but it may be about longevity. So I'm going to give you an example. If you're a roofer or you do something like that, you know, and somebody had a roof leak and maybe you know of a product that could give them a longer lasting lifetime. Well, there's different ways that we go about suggestive upselling. Now, suggestive upselling obviously has no bearing on whether they get a great experience or not. If they go with their original idea, then, you know, no problems there. But if they go with your idea, what it's going to do is it's going to enhance the experience they have, maybe give them a longer lasting product or result. But it's about the approach, guys. We know this, but it's about how you approach someone with this. So there's three things that we do. The first thing is we educate, then we encourage, and then we ask. So let me give you an example of my industry, painting, and I'm going to give you an example of somebody who just invites us over to do the walls in the house just because they want to freshen up the place. So I know the motivation for this person is they just want a really nice vision. So my suggestive upselling for this person would be to walk in and say, you know, I love the idea of freshening up the walls, but have you thought about maybe doing the trim? You know, if you do the trim, it will definitely make the walls pop. We do the trim in white. So, obviously it'll be a really nice contrast between, the trim and whatever color you pick. So right then and there, guys, I first educated on how the process works. I encouraged the person to obviously take me up on my idea because, my idea is a great idea. I do this a lot. And as a professional, more and more people you'll realize will appreciate your opinion over their own because we do this every day. And then the third part of this aspect for suggestive upselling is to ask. You want to ask for the opportunity to add that to the quote. And if you don't ask, guys, they're not gonna, come on, you have to ask. So I'd say, would you like to see what that would be on the proposal if you were to add it? Okay, so what we're doing is we're raising that ticket up. And, obviously we have to get into the closing portion of, sales to figure out how we're going to sell it. But most important aspect of this is upselling and getting people to agree with at least seeing the number. And they won't do that unless you do two things, guys. You encourage for urgent upselling. You want to encourage them to take you up on your offer to avoid the pain of what could occur if they do not take you up on the offer, which, in most cases is in their best interest. And then for for suggestive upselling, it's all about the vision. You want to suggest this with the idea that you're going to help enhance their experience, guys. And whenever we have a better experience or wherever we believe we're going to get a better experience, we pay more money. And that's the goal, guys. So, I don't want to hear it that people aren't paying more for your services than the other person. It's really about the experience you give them. And, that's what this whole sales training, everything that I teach is about connecting with your customer. That's why we have the pricing calculator, so we can spend way less time, pricing jobs and way more time hanging out with the homeowner, getting to know their needs, building value, building trust, and working on our upselling and all that fun stuff. And if you don't already have the calculator, it's free. Go to sellpaintjobs.com, download it for free. If you have any questions on how to use it, please let me know. Hope you got something out of this. If you did, please leave a comment, share it with a friend, tag someone. And if you guys have not already done so, please rate the podcast. I want to get some ratings on there. I think I have 3, but I know you guys have been telling me that you've been enjoying it. So if you could please share a rating for me, I'd be grateful. So thanks so much, guys. Hopefully we'll connect soon. Hey, I just want to take a second to thank you for joining me here on the Contractor Secrets podcast. I'm just going to take this opportunity to let you know that my passion is coaching people, helping people. I've changed my Instagram name to @contractorcoach. And I did that because that is my passion. I want to help you. So please reach out to me. If you have an issue going on in your business, send me an email. Find me on Instagram, message me, and let's do a breakthrough session. I want to work through your problems in your business to help you get to that next level. And one thing that I always say is this, the difference between those that get over the humps and the hurdles in business is just a change in perspective. And that's what I plan to offer you. So get with me, message me, allow me to help you take your business to the next level.